Hi! Welcome to The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. We're doing a Death March playthrough with no armour, well just boots and gloves. Although I'm going to keep my starting armour on for as long as it's not better than any boots or gloves I find. So I figured I'd show that, the cutscene's pretty cool. Sword cut in half. There's Yennefer's little thing that you find with Yesima? God, how have I forgotten his name already? Anyway, naked girl. You got Witcher senses, which act like detective mode in Batman and let you see stuff. Items of interest. There's a key lock. Then it's off to meet your old teacher, who's training Ciri down on the...
Guess she prefers practice to theory.
There we go. She was supposed to be book learning. This is a pretty cool sequence though. And it's like pretty obvious she's going to be blindfolded, right? Or at least it was to me, like you can even see it there.
Wrong. Now I see why you were so eager to practice. Strike. Alright. Take off the blindfold.
See, blindfolded. Kind of a cute kid, freckles and all. Then there's a little bit of a race to learn how to move. I don't know why I turned tutorials on. Did I already say that? I mean, I've played through this on the one below Death March, and it wasn't too bad, and so I kind of know everything, so I apologise when tutorials are popping up all the time. Anyway, this is Kaer Morhen, the original Witcher school. Then you do go and do some practice. You're having a chat with Yesima. Why do I keep calling him Yesima? What is his name? It'll come back to me.
Dawn some way off.
There he is. Anyway. Turns out it was all a dream.
Back on topic. How's it?
2 or 3 days. Trail's fresh.
Kind of a beautiful game too, right? Obviously I'm editing this quite heavily. I'm just going to give you the salient points.
Hear that?
I hear it. I smell it. Ghouls.
So this is just going to be the story. There we are, monsters. Silver health bar, so you know to use the silver sword. And Igni's good against ghouls. Also, Shield, Gwen is pretty useful too, because they can get on top of you very, very easily, and you get surrounded quickly. And as you can see, signs consume stamina. That's your little yellow bar, so when you use them, you've got to wait for it to come back. You can get potions which increase the speed of that, and skills which allow you to use those adrenaline points, the red things underneath. As well, but that's not coming for a while. Other way I'm going to build a little bit of magic, start with all the Axie for the conversation options, and then probably invest a little bit in combat, maybe go down the oil route, but I mean a lot of the skills are actually, by the time you get to a certain level, they become a little bit worthless. The trick is really just to keep Gwen up as much as possible, and not have your buddy get in the way of your critical strikes. As long as you keep Gwen up, you're generally okay. It'll take one hit, no matter how strong that hit is. You got to watch out for follow-up attacks, where they like slice twice, and the first one blows your shield. And yeah, just really a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous game. I'm also looting a lot of flowers, so I'll cut that as well. Early on, it's good to get a lot of flowers. They're quite rare around here, but look at this. Gorgeous. Vesemir, not Yesemir. I'm so sorry. I knew it was Yennefer and Yesemir sounded wrong. So I've been playing some Batman and I'm just coming back to cut this footage. Anyway, I figured I would speed this bit up. There you go. Sometime later. Again, gorgeous god rays.
We going? Help me! Help!
Look at that, some dirty big griffin eating a horse. Now remember this upward strike. Well, kind of flying leap. Epic. Reminds me of nothing more than the eagles stealing like goats and monkeys in Far Cry 4. That was a pretty epic non-battle. Sadly, Vesemir got sliced a bit.
Provided you got lucky.
You're a horse.
So you've got your bestiary. It contains tips on how to kill stuff. There we are. And you can kind of scroll around. Griffins are vulnerable to grape shot, hybrid oil, and ard. The sign. But realistically, for this first griffin fight, we're just going to want our shield up the entire time. That was don't steal in houses, which makes sense.
Down before there's trouble.
That is your coat of arms, the Temerian lilies. They've a right to hang there.
But she takes it down anyway, after all that. And here come the witches.
What? Witches? I'll not drink with Weaverlaw's freaks.
Looking for a woman.
So the thing here is we're on the track of Yennefer,
Plenty of travellers about, though.
and she basically doesn't know anything and says to speak to everyone.
Raven-haired woman dressed in black and white. Seen her? Talk.
Folks say the lady rode through the village a few days back.
Wait.
A moment, witch.
No, and I don't.
But the rules are quite...
So there's a couple of things going on here. One, that dude saw an lady, and you can use Axie to get extra conversation options, although that one's for free. After that you have to invest points in it. This is Gwent. It's a card game. It's kind of fun. There's achievements for it, and you can earn quite a lot of money doing it as well. You can play unique characters all over the world and win Gwent coins. The idea is simply to have more points than the other guy at the end of the round. There we are. 17 versus 23. So I won that round. He's lost a token. I'd forgotten that I didn't have the same skill that I thought I had. This is just a starting deck, and I'm kind of just trying to get him to play as many cards as I can, so that even if he wins this round, he's only got 2 cards left, and I'm fairly confident with, what, 5, 10, 15, 21, 22 points on the board, I can beat him without too much trouble. There we are, so that's 11 versus 6, card superiority, easy win. And you can win unique cards from playing merchants and stuff, and as you'll see here, Zoltan Shive, every time you play someone for the first time you'll win a new card.
Looking for a woman. Not. How do you know Yennefer?
What a question.
Master Dandelion's ballads.
of course.
Get to the point.
And the Nilfgaardian scout
Where?
at their camp. She rode in there.
Where to?
So he's given you a lead. You need to go and ask the garrison. But first of all, these guys who you upset earlier want to fight you. And I thought I'd use Axie, because again, you get a little bit of experience every time you use it, but obviously they got busted. Well, I got busted because if you use it on one person, it's pretty obvious. Parry is pretty straightforward. You can do it in sword fights with humans and against monsters to an extent, although it's often less successful parrying monsters. They can get inside easily and still do damage through it.
Nice meeting you.
And Roach, as always, gets in the way of everything. And there's quick save on F5, so I'm always tapping that. And again, just picking lots of flowers. Shopkeeper here, the guy that we saved from the griffin.
People say all kind.
And he gives you a little bit of a discount, he says, but since it's impossible to know otherwise. And he also sells some nice Temerian armor for your horse. Here's the notice board where there are contracts, and it reveals points of interest around the world. So if we have a look at the map, I think I'm going to do that in a second. There we are, world map. You'll see these question marks pop up around nearby. And you can click the left stick to jump to your objective as well, which is quite nice. But all these question marks are places of interest. They might have great treasure, they might not. They've usually got a monster or two. It's rare that they don't. They might be a place of power, which give you a free ability point, which is always nice. And we picked up 2 quests from the notice board. There's also a quest over here. This place has been torched, and he wants you to find out who's done it. But first, we're going to do Devil by the Well. Now, the way I'm going to do this, secondary missions are going to be separate videos. Check out the card on the top right if you want to see that, or the playlist if you want to see them all in order, and I'll put them all linked at the end and in the description as well. That's the Devil in the Well. You've got to fight a Noon Wraith. It's a pretty mad fight, especially at a low level. But we did that, so again, if you want to see that, go check that out. There's another one coming up. Went to speak to the Smith for Twisted Firestarter. And then did Missing in Action as well. So after all those, I found myself here back on the trail of Lilacs and Gooseberries. So I figured I would check out some of the question marks nearby.
Come on, Roach.
And this one's quite fun. And look again, I mean, just gorgeous, gorgeous skies. It's incredible, and then the fog on the ground as well. I hope that's coming through on YouTube. As you come over the crest of this hill, there's just some ground fog laying there. See on the right. And there's a fast travel point. Anyway, enough looking around. On with the mission. Roach, you won't go down there. Roach is actually often proves to be more a burden than a boon. Slows down randomly. So I'll be holding like the button to run, A or whatever, and it'll be like, whoa, Roach, slow down. I definitely did not tell Roach to slow down. Anyway, you may have noticed some wolves there on the right. I was still heading towards this question mark. I figured I'd leave them behind. You can usually outrun wolves pretty easily, and there's a bandit camp. So I dropped down, and Roach, being a pain in the bum, wouldn't let me off him. Eventually he did there. And the wolves are still on my tail, and they're incoming. So I was like, oh god, I'm going to have wolves and bandits. This is going to be a right royal mess. And then I accidentally put away my sword. And then I think I got the wrong one out afterwards, so I'm trying to punch this wolf to death, which is never going to go well. It's got a red health bar, so it requires the steel sword, but I'm pretty sure I took out... Oh no, that is my steel sword. Which you can tell because the handle on the silver swords there, the one on the right, angle down. There we go. 2 dead wolves. And then I was like, oh god, where are the bandits? Where are the bandits? Where are the bandits? After looting, obviously. Looting always comes first. If you've seen any of my Borderlands videos, I'll like kill one guy and charge in and loot him. While being shot at by everyone else. Anyway, some corpses there to loot as well, and a nice big chest with nothing really of interest in it. An Nilfgaardian longsword. Turns out it wasn't the best sword, but there was an upgrade, the Vicovagabagada, whatever it was, blade. Vivicaro blade? I don't know, plus 6 damage anyway. Still running the basic silver sword, which is a shame. And then there was another location here that I wanted to check out after looting those guys.
Take it easy.
See? I didn't say take it easy, Roach. Anyway, up here. I couldn't get up here, so I just kind of edged my way around until I found what looked like a route up, and there was a collapsed brick support for a bridge, I presume, here. Coming up, there we are. Which you can climb up, and then there's a little way to climb up off there as well. And there's a handful of bandits up here. There's one who level 1 archer, so I wanted to eliminate him first. Archers can be a real pain in the bottom. Especially at low level and with no armour, and because I haven't got the skills to parry block arrows yet, there wasn't much I could do. I'm going to go for level 2 Earden, I think, because the slow is just a remarkable skill, and then Igni's a good one to have towards the end as well, so I'll probably work towards that. Igni level 2, or the alternate Igni, is kind of overkill, so I'll probably avoid that and dabble in other stuff. I kind of want to poke around in survival skills this time too. These guys with the axes, if you hit them a second time, they'll block and blow your shield. They'll do you a little bit of damage. So you want to hit them once, and you can't parry their big swing, so you need to dodge away from it. And then ideally you chop them in the back with a critical hit like that. I try not to engage them while my shield's down, because one wrong hit, especially from a level 5 guy, can spell instant death. But there is a trick you can do where you just keep leaping back and they'll never actually get ready for the attack. That was a parry as that came in, so you can parry almost mid-attack a lot of the time and it will protect you. And there's also the counter-attack you'll see here if you tap it at exactly the right time, not then. There we go, it'll kick him back and expose him to a hit. And my timing was just a little bit off, but now we're there. Should be getting it every time. Nope. Famous last words. There we are. Jumped in with a quick attack, even though my shield was down, which was a bit risky, but it worked out. Shield back up for this guy. He's only level 2, so he shouldn't pose much of a problem. I set fire to him with Igni, but actually then after he's on fire, here we go. There. I go for the attacks too soon, which is a mistake. I should have let him burn a bit and lose more health, because the moment you attack them, the burning stops. So especially if there's only one guy, you can let them burn out. But then he kind of goes, "Come on, buddy, take me." So I'm like, sure, if you're just going to twiddle your sword and let me get through your defences, I'm really happy doing that. Anyway, looting. And in here was an interrogation report and the diagram for the Serpentine Steel Sword, which is a new quest for the Viper School equipment. Viper School gear, there we go. And we'll have a look at that after this. It actually comes up in the second video because it's a little way away. So I wanted to fast travel over here and get back on with the story mission. There we are. So I headed to Wosong Bridge and visited the shopkeeper, sold all my bits and bobs. I tend to keep one of everything, apart from when I have 10 of everything. Sold all my swords to the armourer, which wasn't the best, but I didn't have a blacksmith nearby. You still get more than you do from a shopkeeper. There we are. And keep a shirt, because they're always useful for crafting. And then I thought, well, I'll go and have a look at this Viper School gear, because that sort of feels like part of the story, right? So read the interrogation report to start. Yeah, you can like rewind and pause there if you want. There are some books I'll read, others I won't. But on the way there was a question or a quest that I wanted to check out. There's Roach, so I figured I'd ride him up. It's roadways, so he's not going to be too much of a pain, although with Roach you never know. See? And then heading up this way. And here is the little quest on the map, and it's a woman who wants you to go in and rescue her pots and pans. That's it there on the right. Don't forget to check the eye on the top right for the cards to some other bits and pieces. We'll put in a playlist and some videos on the left, the first contract, Devil from the Well, and on the right the continuation of the story. Let me know what you think, if you're enjoying this format, or if you'd rather just see the standalone secondary missions, less movement, I don't know. Feedback always welcome. Anyway, see you in the next video. Bye.